Hello, pile number 1. You chose the card Autumn Equinox, card number 67, and the Sacred Temple Ritual Incense. We want to kind of know what is going on with you. What's this wobble? What's this thing? And what advice do your guides have for you? Because I think it's very important to just have, at this time when you have these, when you get pulled into these weird, either weird situations or things just coming up like out of the graveyard, like this hand on this thing, and it's a fall leaf. When things keep coming up out of the blue to kind of be released, you know, it's time to take a note. And it's also time for, maybe I'll angle them this way, it's time for like some extra support. So lately I've been drawn to decks with really good books, and I'm not shy to read from the book because the books on some of these are amazing. So this is card number 67. What is going on for pile number 1 right now? It is time, your guides say, time to take stock and evaluate your journey. Whatever the season you find yourself in, Autumn Equinox, the card, and the season both have great wisdom to teach you. Remember that you are a source of magic. You are not separate from the universe. You are part of it, and it is within you. As above, so below. As within, so without. Express gratitude and remember to be grateful for your own magic, skills, and energy that help manifest all the things you are grateful for. Spring and summer tend to be busy months filled with social occasions and seeking joy through exploration and adventure. As the skies gray and pumpkins swell and brighten, it's time for new adventures, traversing the internal landscape. And it keeps saying to reaffirm all that you have to be grateful for. Well, that's nice, but it doesn't really tell me what this is, what this wobble is. And I have my wireless mic on, and I may be wandering to the other room to pick up. I've got tarot decks all over the place, and I'm very grateful for all the decks I've received recently. So we're going to the Pastel Journey Tarot. You may also be guided to pick up objects and put them on the table. Let's just let Spirit kind of guide my lips here. The 9 of Swords. There is someone there resting. It did say time of introspection, but the 9 of Swords is typically about worrying, but this person is asleep. So this is kind of a different 9 of Swords card. What's on the bottom of this deck? This is the Pastel Journey. The Knight of Cups. There's a star in her hair. And it almost looks like this Knight of Cups is like some sort of like Doctors Without Borders or something, like Shamans Without Borders. Like, you need to take it easy. I'm here to tell you it's okay to rest and slow down. And you may be like, what? I can't slow down. I have like a ton of stuff to do. I'm not sure I totally like that message either. Like, slow down. Why do we have to keep slowing down? Especially in the Northern Hemisphere, it's spring, soon to be June, and in a couple of days. It is my birthday week too. Yay, on the 3rd. I don't know. Let's bring in Archangel Michael with the Sword of Light cards, and let's just see. Why are we slowing down? What is going on? Don't settle for less. You are a child of the divine, and you deserve to have your dreams come true. Don't give up. Well, that's cool, but we're getting pulled into these weird situations, Spirit. So Spirit seems to be, I feel like here Spirit is leading me, like they're not going to give me the answer, like straight up, like what's going on. It's like they're going to feed me this little breadcrumb trail and make me work for this answer. Why is pile number 1 feeling like wobbly or out of sorts or just uncertain, like of what's happening, like can't see the way forward, which can make you nervous and anxious? I've got Lemurian Star Child Oracle. What is going on with pile number 1. Earth Angel. I think for you, pile number 1, you've been trying to do too much. I feel like you are really dedicated to your goals and you've really been persevering. Like there's this whole treasure chest and it's not closed, it's open, and butterflies are coming out. And I think you're dreaming about a whole bunch of stuff that you want. I'm not buying into that. I want more data. Like, what is going on with the outer planets? Why is pile number 1? Are they just having a wobble? I'm going to bring in the pendulum. I think you're blocked somehow because you're not paying attention to what's going on around you. Because I feel like intentionally Spirit's like blocking the answers from me. Because if I have to go pick up the pendulum, that usually means that, here, we're going to get it in here too. This pendulum, it's black kyanite. Let's just see what it says. Let me see. Hello, thank you for being here with me, little pendulum. Show me please your yes. Usually my yeses are a circle. Show me please, thank you. Show me your no. My no's are usually a straight line. Some go a different way, but anyway, all right. I feel like pile number 1 is blocked from getting the answers they need. Can you confirm or deny? Okay, so they're saying yes, you're blocked. Because I'm sensing, like I feel like I'm a very clear channel. And when I tune into pile number 1, it's kind of like I'm having to like hunt and peck for answers everywhere. Like I'm not trusting my own guidance. And I'm going like to this card and that card, and I'm not hearing any answers in my head. So I must be disconnected from my guides. Oh my God. Oh my God, what am I going to do if I can't connect? Yeah, see, this is all a yes. If I can't connect, then I'm disconnected and maybe I'm off my path. Maybe I'm not getting clear guidance, and then thus I feel like I could be stepping into, now I'm channeling, uncharted waters and unsafe territory, areas where I feel uncertain. And oh, here it comes. And it reminds me of all those times way back when I had maybe a similar, thing. I'm getting big chills now. When I had a similar thing going on in my life, maybe some big changes were coming that I couldn't see. And so I just felt really like the wobble. Yeah, they're just saying, I just feel really wobbly. So this could be your higher soul talking and telling us what's going on. Like, why in the world do you feel that way? I'm going to my deck, Pleiadian Power. So it sounds like things are coming. Something in your current reality has triggered this same feeling that you had maybe way back when right before a big change, this happens. Spirit is saying there's this intentional cleanup of old energies to get you ready for new things to come in. Hence, we just talked about in the intro about ascension symptoms, and ascension symptoms always show up as like cellular renewal, happens before big changes. And so, but it's giving you a feeling, especially for those that are very clairsentient or claircognizant, or just very aware of how things feel. It's giving you a feeling like something's wrong, because the last time you felt this way in your body, or the energy around you had this feeling to it, you felt very unsafe. And then things did happen that they said kind of rocked your world. And it's left you with this basically like a soul scar of, something that happened that you didn't really want to happen, but it was happening for your highest and best good. but it felt like the rug was being pulled out from underneath you. You felt very ungrounded and unsafe in what was happening, even though in the end everything worked out fine. The way that the situation unfolded for you was very disconcerting. And so it left you almost like with soul loss. Yes, big chills. Almost like a part of you is needs to be brought back. And this would be into soul retrieval. We wouldn't do that during this reading, but I should start this week. We should probably do something similar. Let's get another card just to see. Now, this Vision Quest Tarot is excellent. The book is excellent. This is my, tell it to me gently deck. This is not a, everything's fine all the time deck. If there's something you need to do, this deck is like tough love. It will tell you straight out, and that's why I like it. So let's see what else is going on for pile number one. Anything else? Father of Water. This is the King of Cups. The King of Cups has been coming up a lot in the past couple of days. I've got a King of Cups card on another reading table over in the other room. Let's see what this Father of Water card says. Uh-oh, there's some weird sound outside. As I've been watching here, I've seen a squirrel on the fence post. You can't see because I'd have to angle the camera up. And I saw an empty styrofoam cup flow across the yard. I don't know if that's going to play into anything. Let's see. Father of Water. This says sensitivity, perceptiveness, psychic receptivity, patience, inner knowing, intuitive thought process, sometimes fogginess. Here we go. Here it is. Sometimes fogginess in the face of the ungraspable. This says, follow your intuitive insightfulness. Heed its subtlest intimations, even if you can't put them into words. It is a mistake to believe that only what is expressible can really be true. The mystery all around us is so ungraspable that our limited concepts can only point to it. Now trust your most delicate feelings. They speak to you more clearly than any words. Your non-judgmental perceptiveness makes others seek your advice. Don't be shy. Use this talent to enhance your environment or business. The desire to share your intuitive knowledge with others is a genuine desire to comfort and assist. Basically, yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing today. I've got, everybody's got something going, right? I got something similar happening. And I was like, back to the old, when you get nervous, focus on service. It's like, I just can't sit around thinking about this thing because, number one, it's outside of my control. And so, and I've asked asked my guides, like, is there anything I can do about this? And they're kind of like, nope, you just need to push through it. And so, yeah, you need to push through this. And so the only way for me is to stay very high vibe. So I can either sit around watching readings all day, which keeps me connected because I know the people that I watch are connected. And so it's like sitting with like soul family watching readings. But I'm like, yeah, I kind of did that yesterday. I'm kind of over it. Especially once you start getting the same messages over and over again in different readings. It's kind of like, okay, I watch a couple of my favorite soul sisters. I'm like, okay, I've had enough of this. It's my turn to give back now. And so I told my son, I'm like, I'm going to be recording this morning. I'm probably going to take the next couple of days to do some different recordings. I have been uploading almost every day my audiobook from my Soulmate series. So what can you do to kind of take your mind off of what's going on? Because I get the feeling, where'd my thing go? I get the feeling that there's not a whole lot you can do in the situation that you're in. I'm getting big chills. That is my confirmation, but hey, it's just fun to watch the pendulum. So hi again. So I'm getting the sense that there's not a whole lot pile number one can do in this situation. Is that the case? Yes. So the advice then is to take your mind off of this situation, to do what you can to be of service to others. Some of you that watch this are other, practitioners of healing arts or whatever. or you may be called to put your work into your like studies into action. I think some of you, they're saying, are like perpetual students, kind of like, oh, I'll just take that one more class, or, oh, wouldn't it be fun to go do this? And I can remember when I went to Maui in 2016, and I had already taken like a lot of different, classes to reawaken a lot of my soul gifts. I was getting certified in everything, like mediumship and shamanism, all these things. And I was going to a writers conference in Maui. It's one of my most favorite trips ever. It was a Hay House writers conference, and Doreen Virtue and some other people were speaking there. That was before her big thing, her turnaround. And it was in Maui of all places, right? But I remember at the same time, I was trying to get a soul portrait done by, I don't know, some intuitive lady on the East Coast. I don't even remember her now. And I remember, though, sitting out on the beach, looking out over the water, and I remember talking to this lady. She was an older lady. She was probably in her 60s or 70s at the time. This was 2016. And I remember her saying to me, you don't really need to be there for that. You don't really need that class that you're at. And I was like, no, I know. I already know that I am writing and what I want to do. I don't need like other writers to tell me about it. And so, I just ditched basically saw Doreen speak, and I was like, well, that was okay. And then I was like, I cannot sit in this conference room with no windows for, I think it was like 3 days long or something. It was a total of like 5 days was supposed to be there. So it was like, I don't know, 3 days or 5 days this thing was going on. And I had already paid for my hotel and everything, everything's paid for. And I was like, that's it, I'm ditching. I did, after Doreen's thing, I saw, I forgot the guy, the president of, Hay House was there because they were trying to like recruit potential writers, and people to come up over to Hay House to their independent area. And I was like, no, I don't care. I'm just gonna, there was like a whole line of people, and I was like, this is a waste of my time. I just kind of went and had fun with Wayne Dyer's spirit on Maui. So it's kind of like that, like going off on go off on this tangent, that when you get nervous, focus on service, like even that was like, to me, like storytelling, like, oh, I just went back in time. So some of you are like these perpetual students where, oh, maybe if I just need to take this one more class or learn this one more thing before I could actually speak about it to somebody. And it's like, no, just put yourself out there. Just do it. If it's part of something you've done before in a past life, like mediumship or reading cards, this is the advice coming in now. Being a healer, doing Reiki, I'm a Reiki master. I need to put some attunement classes together. You guys probably hear me say this all the time. Like, I need to put some classes together and get people attuned to Reiki so they can help more people. It's not like just because I know how to do it, I don't need to I don't know. It's finding ways to be of service, especially right now, especially with the guides saying that this situation is out of your control, which you can take that either one of two ways. You can even get more nervous, like, oh crap, there's nothing I can do about this. This means I have to just sit back and be like, oh, they're saying like a victim, like victim mentality, like, oh my God, all this stuff is going to happen to me that I don't want. And the guides are saying, it could be stuff you don't want. It could be stuff that you really need, but let's keep a divine perspective and say that it's stuff that is going to be really good for you, no matter what the outcome is. You have to release attachment to outcomes, open your heart, and open your senses so that you can accurately start getting these messages back again, because you're blocking yourself with all of this like victim mentality and, oh my God, I can't see the way forward, something must be wrong, or with these past these soul loss situations where it's like, oh my God, all this PTSD trauma stuff is coming back. Because back then, with whatever happened, again, I had no control over the situation. And I was kind of, they said you were treated fairly, but to you it felt unfair at the time. So there's some soul work to be done there. And that's why it's coming up now, is for you to seek the guidance that you need, and possibly to seek some sort of a healer, a shaman. Not a lot of soul retrieval work done directly, I don't think, on YouTube, as in like a group setting type thing, although, you know, it's not unheard of. I know I'm a big student of Sandra Ingerman way back when. I took many of her classes, and she was very adamant about not posting publicly like soul retrieval work, because there needs to be a little bit of more of like hand holding and integration type stuff. It's really is more of a one-on-one thing. So, you know, I would seek someone out, or maybe you do need a class in that case, or a healer or something, to help with the soul retrieval part. If you're an advanced enough healer, you could probably do it for yourself. Like if I needed a soul retrieval for myself, I would just sit down with like a guided, like probably one of Sandra's guided things that I took during one of her classes, and just do the soul retrieval for myself. But you have to do what's right for you. All right, Pleiadian power. Let's see what else is coming in. Any other advice? A dream is just a dream until you take action. The bottom of the deck has, I knew they were going to say that, Power Walk, Green Healing. Take a deep breath. Now go outside and enjoy the natural world. It can be easy during these types of situations to just hole up and like lay in your bed and pull your covers over your head, or sit around inside and like, you know, just ruminate. And it's better to get outside as much as you can. Even if it's just like, okay, I'm doing this video and I need to go sit outside for 5 minutes. This morning I walked my dog, and then I came back and I told my son I'm going to be filming these videos today. And then I went and did the same walk again by myself as like a power walk up to the medicine wheel again. Each time the sylphs and the green healing energy of the natural world and the fae and all that are helping to cleanse your vibration and work with you to help you feel better and to raise your spirits. Yeah, big chill. So big, there's nothing you can do to control this situation. You kind of just have to let it happen around you. And no manner of trying to like think that you can control it is going to help. Something came up with an outside party in my life, and it's like, I was like, oh my gosh, this could be really like uncomfortable or weird for this person. And I wanted to like rush in and try to fix it for the person. And Spirit's like, no, you let them take care of that for themselves. However it works out, don't worry about how it's going to work out. That's not your thing. It's for them. You may be attached to this person in some way, you know, they're part of like your family, but it's not up to you to go fix their problems for them. Even if you think like, oh my God, it could be stressful for them, or my God, what are they going to do in this situation? It could be really, it could turn out bad or weird or whatever, like, freak out. And that if it turns out bad for them because I'm connected to them, somehow I could be indirectly affected. And Spirit's like, no, you need to slow your roll on that. There's a horn going off. Weird. You need to slow your roll on that, because that's not what's happening here. Everybody's getting their own little dose of things to clear right now, and you just have to basically like suck it up and let your guides and the angels and source take over for you and take over in this situation. Okay, so I have a deck and I can't see the book, so, oh, here it is, thanks. This is where I'm kind of like, okay, I think I have too many decks now, because I like my decks to be out, and if I can't find something, what in the world? I did just get this deck, and I wanted to do a little flip through for us, and I might still, but this was like more important. This is the Bohemian Animal Tarot. This card right here, I think it's the Magician. I mean, that was like the whole deck for me. I was like, I just want that one card. The backs are amazing. I'm reading one last message for you. The cards are super cute, and the book is excellent. All right, any other messages we want for pile one in this weird, wobbly, kind of strange situation that's going on? Ace of Water. Let's see. Oh, it's got like a, I don't know, I have to cover up certain things. I don't know how YouTube's going to react. But look, there's like a black, like a jaguar or something holding this Ace of Water cup. This is an animal deck. Here, we'll put this manganic calcite. You know, can't show certain body parts for some weird reason. All right. So you have the Ace of Water. So this is your final, not your final message, but let's see. These cards have numbers in the book. Card number 56, that's an 11, about coming back into balance. It is the black jaguar or panther is a yin, lunar-influenced creature. Ace of Cups, feminine in nature and ruled by the element water. The four aces, why is this talking about the four knights? The four aces, so the Ace of Cups, Wands, you know, Pentacles, Swords, actively invite potent yet remote forces into your life. A sign of helpful, constructive, and life-affirming energy, the Ace suggests new adventures, new beginnings, and opportunity about to unfold. Like a seed that has been planted, the Aces promise to grow into wondrous possibility, so long as you pay attention and look for the potential in all situations, and depending on their suit or their elemental energies, shape those possibilities according to your situation. So this card talks about the black jaguar holding a goblet in their hand, which has been fashioned to resemble a mermaid, another elemental spirit of water. A symbol of the emotion, intuition, intimacy, and devotion, water flows from the cup like a fountain and showers the jaguar and all of humanity with a never-ending supply of sentiment and sustenance. The black jaguar with crystal blue eyes is the embodiment for this author. They're saying for the author, the embodiment of Archangel Michael, who has always been seen as a symbol of humility before God. As the Archangel Michael, the black jaguar with crystal blue eyes offers the gifts of emotional and spiritual empowerment, protection, and freedom. Some of the keywords that stand out to me, because in this book, there's like a whole ton of keywords. All that divinatory meeting is a bunch of keywords. But some of the ones are trusting your higher instincts, just knowing something, feeling deeply, being in touch with another on an emotional level, a chance encounter, and realizing that love is the key or the answer, and feeling a connection to spirit or God. So don't cut yourself off with these. It's not that you're intentionally doing it. It's when you get wobbly or discombobulated by what's going on, when you feel nervous about a particular situation, that you could, it does inadvertently cut off your connection to source. Yesterday my son came down, he's like, why are you all over the place? You're like walking here and walking, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, I'm so nervous about this situation that it just had me all like, I was like forgetting stuff and doing stuff, and my guides will always ping me like, okay, remember, you can't be like this because you'll become too ungrounded. And I'm like, yes, I will forget stuff and I'll be acting, I'll be all over the place. And I was like, that, we cannot have that. So you've got to get connected back in to whoever, meditation, prayer, getting outside a lot. They're saying getting outside a lot. Tap in with some of your favorite YouTubers or, channels. I don't just sit around, I don't just have like readings. I'm trying to work on my bicycles. So there's like cycling channels I like to watch. If I'm inside, make sure you're not forgetting to eat and eat something good, trying not to resort to too much comfort food. I'm at a place now where it's like, if I want something, I'll be like, okay, it's like my soul's telling myself like, okay, you can have that, but you can't have another one. And I'll be like, oh, okay. I was like, forget, or I want that extra chocolate piece or whatever, or the pizza that's in the freezer that I'm like, oh, I just want to heat that pizza up. And they're like, well, you can have like a couple pieces, but no more than that. Like your mom, I'm telling you, it's like mom energy. So you are safe, pile number one. It's just some weird energy. Let's see if Spirit will tell us how much longer, anything else we have to do. I just feel like there's still some missing piece of the puzzle of something else we have to do, or how much longer is this going to last? I've got my deck Spring Fling. The card that came out is Reiki Healing for Success. Set a timer for 1 minute. Sit back and relax to receive this healing. So you're not supposed to focus on how much longer. Although 1 minute is like not very long, right? And we'll invoke this Reiki healing now as we're having this last little conversation. But it's like 1 minute's not very long. So maybe this is like, it's just a couple minutes, like, you know, it's a quick thing, a quick fix, a quick picker upper, I don't know. And then you'll be back on your way again. But you'll go through whatever it is much easier if you get connected back into your higher self, get back connected into your guides, nature, your meditation plan, your workout plan, or whatever, and just let these things unfold as they're meant to happen. So that is all we have for you, pile number 1. I will thank you so much for joining us here. And either we will see you again in another pile if you pick more than one, or we'll see you again in another show on the channel or elsewhere on the interwebs. Links to everything I talk about are always in the notes of each episode or show. Thank you so much, pile 1, and we will see you again soon. Take care. Hello, pile number 2. Hello. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Ancestors card number 64 and the Strawberry Jam Face Powder. So let's go ahead and get started with your reading by reading from the book from the Embroidered Graveyard for this card, Ancestors. And see what's going on here with you, pile number 2. Or is there a wobble? Or is there some sort of weird nervousness? Or what is happening in your world right now that's causing you to feel out of sorts? The archetype of the ancestor is obviously someone who came before you and laid the path which you now tread. We stand upon their shoulders and they guide us. We respect and honor them for their hard work, a mutually beneficial relationship. It's okay if you don't know your genetic ancestry or choose not to work with them. Ancestors can be found anywhere that people have lived before us. Our time on this precious planet is so short. To the universe, we are here and gone in no more than a blink of an eye compared to the vast expanse of time it has experienced. Say yes. Say yes. It's supposed to say so yes, but I said say yes. Try our best, do our part, but never forget to put joy and love at the absolute top of your priority list. It's the only thing that outlives us, the memories that others hold of us in their hearts. So make some amazing ones. And there's so many ancestors that's saying you can lean on them. They're asking to help you, so let them. So let's see then, what else? And it's funny because right now, my son, you'll often hear him in the background, and now he's playing a song. He's doing a lot of research on his own ancestral line. And so he's playing like songs from, we've been doing this research together, playing songs from some of the ancestors that he's found that he's descended from. So that's not a lot of information. So let's get some more cards for you, pile number 2, as to what is going on right now. We're going to get the Vision Quest card from the Vision Quest Tarot. Because this Ancestors card isn't telling me a whole lot other than lean on them. They want to help you. But what is going on in your world right now? We got 2 of Air, Inner Peace. And I was telling pile number 1, I like decks with really good books. Because these books, like this deck especially, is like this tough love deck that just really can get to the heart of what's going on with some really good advice. So this card says, inner peace, union, beauty, friendship. You are ready to find peace by diving into the silence inside you. This very moment reveals that the inner silence never leaves you. Even though your external being changes and renews itself constantly, the silent space of inner peace remains unaffected. It says it is now possible to finally put a difficult situation to rest. Seize this opportunity. Prolonging the conflict won't solve it. Go for a loving settlement instead. Your newfound inner harmony creates outer circumstances to find their own way of settling, and much more peacefully and beautifully than you could have contrived. So this is about getting out of the way and letting Spirit do their job, basically. Stop trying to fix everything yourself. Seems very similar to another Pile's message, but let's just see where this is headed. Okay, Pleiadian Power. This is my deck. What else for pile number 2? Notice there's 2 ancestors on this card. That's interesting. It's like a 2-2. There's 2 ancestors on this card. They both have like the peace sign. They're both just doing the peace sign. And then you've got 2 of air. Whoops, that was the microphone. And then from Pleiadian Power, you have things are speeding up now, which is kind of my version of the Chariot card. And you have Butterfly Fairy spreads love and joy through the solar plexus. I think you're a little bit nervous because things are speeding up now. Let's see if that's, is that, why is that? And what is speeding up? All right, this is my newest deck. I really want to do a flip through of this. This is the Bohemian Animal Tarot. Immediately the back sold me, and then one particular card, I was like, I have to have this deck. But let's see what's going on for pile number 2. What's actually happening? Why is it happening? And what's the advice? Okay, we have 2 cards. So we have the Queen of Earth and the Knight of Earth. So the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. There's this Mangano calcite, whatever it's called, Mangano calcite? Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. So this is like a rooster person holding that pentacle. And these pentacles look different. They look like wheels to me rather than a pentacle. She's got one too. She's like like a mountain lion. With a rabbit. And there's like a nice little portal there in the background. There may be some shadow work that needs to be done around your finances. Let's just look at the Queen of Earth. Oh, yeah, my book went right to the page. The animal archetype is the mountain lion, knows well the gifts of self-direction and sacrifice, remaining true to its heart in everything it does. With a focus on living its life from a place of integrity and honor, the mountain lion is a brave, genuine leader. They must not... There's that horn again. That's so weird. That happened in the first reading. It's like the Spirit's trying to get your attention. The mountain lion asks us to step up in some area of our life and take on a role of leadership. Perhaps someone needs you to take the lead at this time, and perhaps you are being invited to demonstrate faith, inner strength, maturity, and wholeness to fulfill that role. While it seems you have little choice but to step into that role, be warned. The path of the true leader is fraught with trial and tribulation, obstacles that will test your resolve, commitment, and personal belief. The mountain lion expects that from a leader, to earn the respect of others instead of expecting or demanding it. It's like being issued with a spiritual directive to inspire others to reach a unified goal. When the mountain lion lets its presence be known, with all going well, so long as you guard against becoming a guru for fear of stumbling and falling flat on your face. I feel like this is very similar messages to another pile about when you get nervous, focus on service. Let's see, since that's coming up again, we had Archangel Michael come up in another pile too, inadvertently in one of the cards. So let's see, we're going to bring in some Archangel Michael cards, see what's going on here. Pile number 2. Have yet to get to this butterfly fairy. You got, get your power back. You have forgotten who you are. You are a child of the divine, so take back your power. I think something's happening since this card is going down over here by the butterfly fairy always comes up when there's like nervous energy around for whatever reason. Or they're saying you're being tested. You're being tested to see how you'll react in a certain situation. Who's doing the testing? The source. So you're being tested as part of your spiritual journey on your path right now to see how you'll react in a certain situation. Things are going to be getting ready to change, and this is kind of a trial run to see, like, if things got really hectic and crazy, how would you handle it? Would you just like freak out like maybe the old you, 2 or 3 years ago might have done, and just think that everything's going all wrong and you're a victim and all this? Or are you going to be able to, because this Chariot card can also be about reigning. There's some analogies that one of my spiritual teachers, Master Ko, uses about the chariot as a metaphor for reining in your emotional and mental self. The being the horses, and you, the charioteer, being like the soul, having to rein your emotions and your thoughts in, especially when things aren't always going perfect. So, for example, you may have had this really good streak where you're like, man, I'm doing great. I'm doing really good. I'm feeling really good. I'm doing all my spiritual practice is good. I feel really, emotionally good. Everything's level, mentally doing good. But they're saying that's the best of days, right? So what about the days when something out of the normal, out of the norm happens? How are you going to handle that? Or again, they keep saying, are you going to freak out? Are you going to go back to like old ways of thinking and doing where like, oh yeah, when like this card, chicken little, the sky is falling. It's like a kid's nursery rhyme. What are you going to do? Oh my God, everything's falling down around me. Are you going to freak out, or are you going to level out? Freak out or level out? That's quite interesting. So they're saying it's a test. So why is this test happening right now? Oh, the portal. Okay. You have to basically pass this test before you can move forward to the next fool's journey, I guess, for lack of a better word. All right, hold on here because I've got to go over here. I'm walking around. Got to find these decks. Why are these decks being elusive? Oh, there's my dog too. Hi. Oh, you're chewing on your feet again. God, I don't like the looks of that. So this is, I can, you're not the only one going through this. This is what I'm trying to say. You're not the only one going through this at this moment in time. No matter when you listen to this, if you listen to it when it drops or whenever you find this, I went back and listened to some old things I did a year ago, and I'm like, oh, these are so timely right now. Some readings I did on my Loveland Tarot channel, but it's like, you're kind of being given like a lot of little disturbances, they're calling it, all at once to see how you'll react. because your guides, yeah, they're saying it's a stopgap. Okay, so in order for you to move forward to the next level of your journey, you have to be able to show that you can handle what's coming next. Now, it's a little bit of a, conundrum, because you don't know exactly what's coming next. You know what you want to manifest, and they're saying, they're saying what's coming next is all the good coming to you, but you can't see that right now, and they're not going to let you see it because you've got this test to pass. And, it's not just a made up thing. There's spiritual tests happen all the time, right? And your guides are saying, they want to see you pass these tests and level up before they'll let you move forward, because the next leg of the journey is going to be something quite, they're saying remarkable, but it can also be a lot of things being shaken up to affect change, so it can be a little disconcerting. And they want to bring you the good that you want in your life and that you've been manifesting. But if you're not going to be able to handle it, either like on a mental level or on an emotional level, because you're going to get too freaked out when things start to change, then they're going to level off the energy, and they're going to push the portal opening date out further for you. Because this is a lot of those times where you see a reading where it's like nothing is yet set in stone. Yeah, you can manifest what you want, but apparently this next manifestation is like a big change in your life. And you've done so much good work on yourself. They're saying like pat you on the back. This is coming from all your guides and your ancestors who are cheering you on. It's the ancestors card. They want to see you succeed, but this is so good. This X has said they want to see you succeed, but not at the expense of your inner peace and you losing your power. So if these little things are coming up and you can't handle them right now, and you're going back to old ways of like freaking out and hiding under the covers or thinking everything's falling apart, and your nervous system with that butterfly card is getting all out of whack, they're not going to let you move forward, because the most important thing right now is your well-being, not your manifestation. And you've done enough work on yourself. Your karma is really, really good. And while they're saying it's time for things to come to you, they're saying there would be no harm done in pushing things out, 2 or 3 months down the line here, to give you more time to come into balance with who you are by continuing to do your spiritual practice, continue to do meditation, continue to do whatever it is that makes you makes you have that inner peace. You have to be able to handle now these stressful situations, what you may call stressful situations of change coming in, but not at the expense of your health or your overall well-being. So I think there's some concern from your guides about you slipping into some sort of like heightened mental state that's going to increase, like make your body, it has to do with your physical health, like make your body turn into like an acidic environment. So when stress levels rise, we go from being alkaline and very pH balanced in the physical body to becoming more acidic and out of balance, and then it starts throwing off, inflammatory responses rise. Sleep gets disrupted, eating habits go back to being maybe not so good, maybe you start eating a lot of comfort food, and your guides are saying that will not work for the next leg of your journey. Number one, because you're aligning to a manifestation that's very high vibrational. And so if you throw yourself out of balance, you no longer are aligned to that thing, right? You'd be out of balance again, and there's going to be like this yo-yo effect of going back and forth, back and forth. Your guides want to see you on a nice, even keel. Yes, when everything's fine and perfect. I mean, how easy can that be, right? But when the pace picks up a little bit, how do you react to that? They just keep coming back to that. Are you going to freak out? Are you going to get all nervous and out of sorts? And acknowledge the fact that you're going to say something like, well, I'm an empath, you know, everything affects me. And they're saying, you know, bull hockey and bull this malarkey or whatever, you know, whatever, maybe it was some old saying that your grandparents used to say, or my mom, I don't know what my mom used to say, oh, I don't know what she used to say, like, oh, balls or whatever, or fraggles. Sometimes I'll say fraggles, you know, so they don't want you to, oh, this is so funny. They don't want you to be thrown off balance. You may be old, you may be on the older side of life. Maybe you're not a young spring chicken anymore, and maybe you're a little bit older, and maybe, you know, stress is a little bit harder on your body than if you were, you know, 20 years old or something, or 30 years old. Maybe you're like 40 or 50 or 60 years old. And then you have to start taking even better care of yourself to maintain the same equilibrium, because processes, there's a lot about the physical body here. Processes are not what they were when you were younger. You just have to acknowledge and accept that. So yeah, you may want the next best thing, whatever that is you're manifesting. But if it's at the expense of your health and your overall well-being, then they keep saying they're just going to postpone your manifestation. Now, this is not a, well, I'll just fake feeling fine so that my guides can see everything's okay, because they know you within and without, right? Just because you like fake it till you make it, that doesn't work for your guides and for source and your angelic, your guardian angels and all that. Like, they see right through that facade. They're like, yeah, she looks good on the outside, but in the inside we see, like, you know, inflammatory response rising, nervous system and turmoil, and we're not gonna put you through that. We're not going to put you through that. So you're very heavily guarded and protected where you're at in this part of your life, not even your journey. Well, they know you're here to fulfill higher purposes, and, you know, being a conduit, being a clear channel, being that, you know, acupuncture pin, that bringers of the light, like we like to call it on TLC for the soul. You're fulfilling a purpose just by being here and adding your unique light form and light essence to the grids of the planet and so forth. And yeah, you may have been working on a manifestation for quite some time, and you've done an excellent job. They keep saying you will be rewarded for all the work that you've done. I think there's some concern about, like, well, you just keep putting off what I want. Where's my rewards? You know, where's my rewards? Where's my rewards? And they're like, just look around you and you're bound to find rewards. Even if they're small rewards, they are an extension of the good karma that you've been building up over this time of all this service work that you've been doing. So they're saying that even these messages could be disconcerting when you hear the word like, oh, my manifestation is going to be postponed. This may make your blood boil, they're saying. And they're like, that's fine. Whatever it does, whatever emotions are in there need to come out and need to be cleared. If it's blood boiling and you're pissed off because your manifestation might get delayed, then you just need to clear that and suck it up and move forward and move through this. If it's grief or sadness, like, I've been waiting so long, I just can't wait to meet my person or have this thing or find this job or move to this away from where I'm at, they're like, we acknowledge that those are your dreams and desires, but not at the expense, here we go again, not at the expense of your overall well-being. So they will put you, believe me, they will put you in a stasis to where you will be basically not forced, because you have free will choice, but you will continue to be encouraged to continue to work on yourself. And they will periodically bring in these tests to see how you do. How are you doing? Are you doing better than you did before? And there will be a point. They're not expecting, they say, perfection. Like, okay, well, this person has to, because sometimes I'm like, what do you want from me? Do you want me to walk on water? Like, what? And they're like, well, in a sense, yes, because the whole walking on water analogy was all about trusting source and trusting your guides and the angels, and, you know, that was biblical times or whatever, but that it was all about having this higher level of trust. And if you don't have a higher level of trust, well, then what? Then you might as well be like any other human being out there. But that's not what you signed up for. You didn't sign up to be like every other human being out there. You signed up to be a bringer of the light, a light warrior, a shaman. You know, you signed up to do higher level light work on the planet. And so you have to treat yourself kindly and know that it is, in a sense, when I talked about this deck, they're saying it is, in a sense, a little bit of tough love if they start delaying things because they see or sense that you're being thrown out of balance. So, you know, the advice, let's draw some, I mean, I think they've given a lot of the advice, but the advice really is going to be like, continue to do your spiritual practice, continue to clear your energy, put yourself in some situations that are a little bit like scary, or, you know, I guess bring out the vulnerability in you so that you can practice how to react in those type of environments. If you don't like crowds, make yourself go somewhere where there's crowds. If you are a person who gets a little flustered when there's too many things going on at one time, you know, set up some scenarios where there's too many things going on, like test ground some scenarios where you have control over the scenarios, but there's a lot of different things going on at the same time, and you can kind of control the outcomes a little bit and practice how to react in those situations. Like right now I have, you know, they're not in my control, but I've got 3 or 4 situations going on at the same time that are out of my control. And I'm not exactly where I want to be, but they're saying, you know, I'm pretty close to where I need to be in terms of managing my equilibrium and my mental and my physical body. But they're watching you very closely. It's not like Men in Black. Like I have this Men in Black thing going on. You know, it's not like, you know, we're all up in your business 24/7. They're like, oh, we kind of are, but they're watching you very closely before they will let you pass through the next gate. So let's get one more card. Any other advice? This is the final Rose Tarot. Is there any other advice? Any other things for pile number 2? Because this sounds like, you know, there's a lot going on. The 7 of Roses. What is it? Drama. Oh my God, these cards are so crazy. All right, let's look. This is another deck that has an amazing book. The 7 of Roses is the 7 of Wands, I think, in this deck. The 7 of Roses. Theatrics, jealousy, overwhelmed. Through our journey, though our journeys are completely our own, the presence of others competing alongside us is difficult to ignore. Everyone wants to be the center of attention. While most are generally here for the right reasons, there are those that let jealousy and insecurity get the best of them. Once this says, they may pose challenges. They may pose challenges to the successes you've made along your path, but don't let the overwhelming drama discourage you from continuing forward. Your self-confidence and achievements you've made have equipped you to overcome such silly obstacles. See, it's like, be proud of the work that you've done, but know that this is a test. It is a spiritual test. You are being guided through it, but you're also being observed from on high, so to speak, to see how you're reacting to this situation before anything new comes in. What does that mean for the future you? I don't know. This test, though, does not last long. They're saying it's a matter of days, not, you know, weeks or months. And then the higher councils evaluate the progress of souls in various soul groups to see which ones are ready to move forward, you know, when and how they can move forward. And then plans are put in place to bring your manifestations into reality. So you have to be able to see, like right now, there's like this distracting, it's a little distracting music. You have to be able to maintain a level, a balanced level, because this is where it's at now. They're saying this is what's most important, is protecting the balance of all of the light warriors and bringers of the light on the planet right now. We can't have us all going out of whack with whatever changes are going on, whatever planetary alignments and things are coming in. They want the equilibrium of light workers and bringers of the light. We're all one and the same. But people doing this type of spiritual work to be very balanced so that the grids don't get out of whack. There's a bigger picture going on here for why they want you to be so in balance is not just about your manifestations. It goes beyond that. And I think they're telling me I have a June update to do for the Earth Council update that I do, the Bringers of the Light Earth Council. And they're going to talk more about that in that update of why this is so important. So just know this is a testing ground. This is just the way it is right now. It's not going to last very long. They are going to monitor everyone's progress, and those that they have deemed, have managed to stay pretty balanced will get to move forward to the next level of your journey, and that includes all the manifestations and things you've been wanting. Everybody else is going to have to keep going a little bit longer, and they're saying the next portal then that would be something where they might do a testing or let you know what was going on is at the 8/8 Lionsgate. And so that's from here, that's about 2 months away. So if you're not, if it's about 2 months away from whenever you listen to this. So if you aren't deemed like apparently appropriately able to move forward based on whatever's going on, then you will be given additional guidance at that time of what you need to do. There may be some other reading we have to do for you. I just saw 11:11 on the timer, but the big thing is that you need to be in balance. So that's all they want to share with you, pile number 2. So pay attention to what's going on. And I think what will help ease your sorrow or your pain or your, upsetness or your nerves is the fact that this is a spiritual test. It's not happening to you, like they always say, it's happening for you. And the outcome will be determined when the test is complete, they're saying. All right, so that is all we have for you, pile number 2. I want to thank you so much for joining me here, and maybe we'll see you in another pile or somewhere else on TLC for this soul. Take care. Hello, pile number 3. Hello, and welcome to your reading. I'm trying to get myself situated here. You chose card 31, Perspective, and card 32, Cunning, along with Last Sunset, Perfume. So which one? They want me to read Perspective, which is card number 31 out of the Embroidered Graveyard book, and I just can't seem to get my mic correctly, so something may be going on here. And what is going on? So that is the question, pile number 3. You may have come from another pile, and this just may be your only pile you're looking at, but whenever you're coming to this, be it when it drops or sometime later on, a year or 2 from now, something's going on in your world that's leaving you feeling like a little wobbly, like making you wonder, like, am I still on the right path? Or bringing up maybe some weird like PTSD type symptoms or feelings, or just is giving you some sort of like ungrounded feeling like something's not right. And so maybe, they're saying like maybe my guides have deserted me or something. And so you're just needing a little bit of encouragement to keep going and to know that everything is going to be fine. But let's take a look at your card. So card number 31. This is the book. It's a very beautiful deck. It's very fancy. It's like blessed to have it. Card number 31. And I don't always read from books, but lately I just enjoy decks that have really great books, and I love reading from the books. So this is Perspective. You are invited to partake in the healing boons that come when working with plant magic. Perhaps a tea to calm anxiety, an herbal salve to erase skin irritation, or even, I'm not going to suggest edible substances, but it does say that here. So if you're seeing this card, then it's time for a deeper look into the herbal world. When this card appears, it's saying the Fae are close and wish to work with you, which is interesting because in one of the other piles we had the ancestors coming in, and then the other pile we had the angels coming in. So now we have the Fae coming in, wishing to work with you. It could also be the energy of a lighthearted deity that enjoys the hedonistic partaking in alcohol and other substances, someone like Pan or Dionysus. You don't have to consume these substances if you wish not to. You could try shamanic dancing or create a fairy garden to honor the deity who has come to greet you. And the introspection is, it's time to elevate yourself to a different mental vibration. Spirit can help you, of course, but so can the world around you. We see plant magic as this mystical and sometimes scary path, but who in their time hasn't used coffee to energize, chamomile to calm? Even I don't know what some of these plants are. Humble paracetamol is derived from a plant, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, the Panadol plant. I can't even say its name. In many ways, plant magic has been made mundane. There's just some parts of the path we don't use as often. This is true. Explore these, research these, ask yourself, what salve do you need in your life? Consider making salves, rituals, and cures as a part of your mundane life, just like your daily coffee. Interesting. So let's see what else is going on here. So maybe that's just some suggestions. I think with it coming out with the Cunning, it's like if there's a certain plant that you should be working with, plant medicine or some sort of herbal remedy or whatever, let that, come to you intuitively. That's the best way to do it, is just go where you're guided with some of these things. Let's get a card from my deck, Pleiadian Power, and see what else is going on in your world. We're talking about healing bombs and stuff, so I don't know yet what this is that's happening with you. Child's play. Close your eyes, he said, covering her heart-shaped sunglasses with his hands. You count, and I'll hide. And time to care for your own needs. Rest, self-care, and reflection are called for now. And behind it, there's a sign that says something like, be strong and don't give up. Maybe you've been working a little bit too hard. At the bottom of the deck is you're receiving many messages from the higher realms. Let's get a card from the Vision Quest Tarot. This is a very upfront deck. It doesn't hold back. If there needs to be some tough love messages, it's not afraid to do it in a nice, in a nice way. What else is going on for pile number 3, besides the fact that they need to play more and soothe their soul and rest and rejuvenate and all that good stuff? I mean, they wouldn't be here if something wasn't going on. Something wasn't causing them to feel like something's not quite right. They're saying you're just tired. So we got together, came out Father of Earth and Son of Water. Let's read the Father of Earth. That reminds me almost of the stance of the Four of Pentacles, like I'm holding on too tightly. Oh, they're saying you're holding on too tightly to outcomes. Let's see, what's the book? Father of Earth, diligent work, harvest time, strength, stability. It is important to strengthen your contact with the earth now, meaning a certain amount of grounding is needed. This will give you greater stability and inner firmness. Just the thought of being able to rely on your inner self can renew your strength. Feel in what area you need more grounding. In order to complete an unfinished project, you need a sense of safety as well as internal stability. But work just for work's sake is not energizing enough, merely a burdensome necessity. Soulful work you don't even consider as such, provides the satisfaction you seek. That kind of energy investment strengthens your self-confidence and gives you the faith that you are on the right track. Yeah, I think you've just really been involved a lot in what I would call the mundane world. Maybe working too hard at a 9-to-5 job, and they're not saying, we're not here to say like leave your job or whatever. We're here to say that there needs to be a balance between work, rest, and play, and that there's been a lot of work and not a lot of rest and play. And so what that then does is it makes you feel ungrounded because you become out of balance in your mental body, your emotional body, and then your physical body starts to become out of balance. It was talking about skin irritation in the book in the embroidered graveyard, and it was talking about calming anxiety and using, you know, herbs for digestion. So here's what happens, right? When you're in an environment where, you know, when you're in the matrix, so to speak, in a place where nobody maybe knows about energy healing or energy work but you, no one's clearing the energy of the building that you're in or the space that you're occupying. You know, all that stuff builds up, and some of it's yours and some of it's probably not yours. You know, just you soak in what you're around all the time. And if you're around negativity, be it in your home or your workplace, then that just starts to push in on your auric field, and you start to feel like something's not right, something's wrong. And maybe there's something wrong is like they're saying you're feeling like I've got to get out of here kind of feeling, like we've got to get out of here, we've got to get out of this place. I don't like it here anymore. You know, I don't resonate with what's going on around me. I just can't buy into these, they're saying lies. You know, this is interesting. I've been fact checking, and I can no longer support what's going on in this place of business. So there could be a leveling up needed of finding a more high vibe place to work, or a more high vibe career that you maybe start doing on the side and kind of ease into. I did work in the corporate world for almost 25 years, maybe even a little bit longer. I don't know, it was 23 years at the same place. And then, no, it had to have been longer, almost 30 years, because it was 23 at the same place. And then before that, it was like 6 or 7, a couple of other different places. And towards the end of I left the corporate world. I could have stayed where it was at. I really did like it. But at some point, my spiritual journey started, and I just could not do the job anymore. Not because I didn't want to. It's just I couldn't buy into the silly, inane, you know, deadlines and stuff that just was so stupid to me. After a while, I was like, I can't even honestly support some of the things that some of the people here are saying. I was an IT project manager for like the last 15 years. And I'm like, I can't support having people like kill themselves, you know, over stress because you need a login link on a web page by, you know, X date. I just couldn't buy into it anymore. I just couldn't do it. And then I started getting sick. I started gaining a lot of weight to shield myself from, and it really wasn't a negative place. It was like probably the most awesome place I'd ever worked. You know, out of all the places I worked, it was pretty awesome. Everything was great about it, and the people were amazing, but the job itself just no longer did anything for me. And I remember saying, like, you know, I've been striving for a certain goal. So this may be you. I've been striving for a certain goal to achieve at that job, and I applied for a position there towards the end of, right before I was going to decide to leave. I was like, you know what, I'm going to apply for this other position because this is what I've been wanting to do. And the people in my company knew for years, they've been like, oh, we're grooming you for this position, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, right. And so I applied, and Spirit was like, no, you're not doing that. Because it came back like, we loved everything about you, but this one tiny thing. And I was like, okay, that's the end for me then. And so I decided to retire early from there. But I was getting like migraines like 3 times a week. You know, I couldn't barely function. I would go into the office, and all I wanted to do the last couple of years I was there was like go outside. I didn't even want to go to meetings. You know, I would get to, it was so bad. I was on salary. I would get to work, and I was like, I have to take a break and go outside. And then I would go to a meeting, and then I was like, I have to take a break. And you could work outside. It was Wi-Fi everywhere, so you could take your laptop. It was amazing, beautiful grounds, and you could work outside. And I was like, I have to go work outside. And then I would go to lunch, and I would take like a really long lunch because I didn't want to go back inside. And I didn't even get to work. I get to work from home, like, I don't know, a couple days a week. I think it was Fridays we got to work from home. We got to wear business casual all the time. It was an amazing company. But towards the end, I just felt like the passion was no longer there. And I started to get sick. I mean, I had excruciating headaches, and I remember at one point saying, I'm going to have to go on disability for migraines because I can't even function. And so that was it. I was like, and then I started receiving many, 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 many signs from Spirit about leaving and staying at home. Well, for me, it was, my wish was really to stay at home at that time with my son. And so I got like hundreds of confirmations over like a 6-month period of like, it's time to leave. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to leave. But I did. And thus then the spiritual journey started. And it's kind of like, am I happy that I left there? I don't know. And I know this isn't a reading about me, but I feel like you're at that same point that I was at back then. And while I can't say stay or leave, I would suspect that maybe you're looking for those signs and those confirmations that keep leading you to make a change in your life. And, who knows how long you've been where you're at. Maybe you're just fed up with where you're at and you're not looking necessarily to quit your job and stay at home. Maybe you're just looking for something like more high vibe with more high vibe people. So pay attention to all the signs. We do have the Fae coming in. We do have plant medicine coming in. So I feel like you're starting to open up to more of like your spiritual gifts. You may be becoming more interested in stuff like herbalism, and you may be feeling guided to like take some sort of herbalism class or plant magic class or shamanism class or something. And slowly over time, maybe you would transition into like working a full-time job to maybe you're seeing, healing clients part-time or something. And, it's all what's meant to happen for you based on your soul's journey. But this does seem like a nod in the direction of it's definitely time to make a change, because you're feeling out of sorts. And I think you feel like you're working all the time and you're doing a really great job and you're not being recognized really for what you're doing. And there's a reason for that. God is our source, and God's omniscient fingertips are everywhere. And if it's time for you to leave, then slowly they're going to find a way to make you leave. And so, it could be that you're getting the hints now and the guidance, like it's time to start looking for something else, or it's time to go part-time and start doing something else part-time, and you're going to be fully supported and blah, blah, blah. And, and who knows, maybe because sometimes I look back and I'm like, if I hadn't left, what would I be doing? And Spirit's like, you would have been laid off, because they were laying off a lot of people at that time where I worked. And I was like, this company just isn't even the same anymore. The values were starting to change, and all the outsourcing and all these things, it was just really not even the same from when I first started, many eons before that. And so I think Spirit's like, because the ultimate goal was to do something else and to start on a spiritual journey and a spiritual path, just like it sounds like what you're being guided to do. And so I think eventually, like, I always felt bad, like, well, man, I left a regular salary, I left really great benefits, and now here I am. And it's kind of, it's great, but it's not the same as, it's not the same. It's very different. Just being at home and doing these different, working on my business. And it's like, Spirit's kind of like, would you rather? We play I know there's not a lot of cards on the table too, but this is like a TLC pep talk for you. It was kind of like, well, would you rather be in meetings all day around a conference table, or would you rather sit outside and pull some cards and film a video and then go write your book and then make an oracle deck? And I was like, well, definitely number 2. Definitely choice number 2. So sometimes you have to play the would you rather game to know what your heart really wants versus what your head and your mind might be saying is what you should do, because they feel like maybe it's kind of too stressful or too scary to make a change like this. So always follow your guidance, and always look at your financial situation. Like, don't make any type of like weird, impulsive exit from where you're going or from where you're at without, making sure you've got maybe a little nest egg set aside, or maybe there's somebody else in your family that supports you, like, it's a husband-wife thing, and maybe the other spouse is kind of like, well, you stay at home now and I'll go to work or something. But don't like just blindly because you heard a card reading, quit your job without anything to fall back on. I mean, you can do that, Spirit says, but you won't be happy like that. You won't be, because you'll be too stressed out over finances to enjoy the journey, and that's not gonna, that won't cut it. I'm gonna get some cards from Archangel Michael deck. I should probably get the fairy deck out since the fairies are coming in. My son is singing in the background. Let's see, what is he singing? Maybe it's pertinent to our reading. Okay, what else does pile 3 need to know? Oh, well, there you go. Archangel Michael is with you now. Even though you can't see it, I am actively working on this situation. I am here and helping you. Well, and Archangel Michael is the archangel of divine soul mission and soul purpose. So for him to just come out so blatantly on the card, like, yes, here I am. Let's get a card from the Bohemian Animal Tarot. Oh, wait. I want to do Lemurian Star Child first. Let's do Lemurian Star Child first. See what else is going on for you, pile number 3. And what other advice does Spirit have for you? You're kind of feeling weird or wobbly, or like it's time to transition to something else, but you don't even know where to start or what to do. And you've got the Cunning card. So I think your soul has been like nudging at you to do something, and I think you're kind of like me. I had to hear like confirmation to confirmation after confirmation to feel like it was okay to do this without having like a guilt trip about doing it. Yeah, you got Earth Angel. What was that sound? And Fire and Water. It's like a weird sound I just heard outside. So definitely Earth Angel confirming, you know, you're here to help serve the planet. Yeah, I think your spiritual awakening is going to start taking off very soon, because whenever I see this volcano, I always get like Kundalini rising. It does always remind me of Pele, the goddess Pele from the Hawaiian Islands, and she's all about working with raising the Kundalini fire when I work with her. So I feel like, yeah, your spiritual awakening is going to get to a point where, yeah, you're going to want to break free of the matrix, so to speak. And so, yeah, they're giving me big chills. And so, let's get any other advice then for pile number 3, because this can be exciting, but it can be a little scary at the same time to make some sort of a switch like this. And then your guides are saying you just kind of have to ease into it. Like stepping stones, they're going to show you one thing after another of like, do this, now do this. You know, maybe some new opportunity comes up to work somewhere else part-time, or it sounds like opportunities are just going to present themselves, and you're just going to be able to make these choices with like ease and grace rather than feeling stressed out by it. This is one of my new decks. This is an amazing, cute deck. I love it. Oh, great. It's like too many decks. Yes. Oh, yes. This is the same card we had earlier. This is the same card that came out in another pile. So maybe you're coming from another pile, but I think the card now, that why it's coming out here, has a little bit of a different meaning than the other pile did. Although there is something, let's see, I do like this book, is amazing. Now let's see what stands out to me from the book for this. Where did it go? Queen of the Earth. Resourcefulness, encouragement, practicality. We noticed last time we looked at this card, there's like a portal in the background. There's like a cute little bunny there. And mountain lion, so she's a mountain lion queen, is a brave and genuine leader. True leaders must be respected by their followers if they are to instill a sense of trust and loyalty in others. And finally, they must remain impartial, composed, and in control, even when they are inwardly feeling overwhelmed, afraid, or confused. The mountain lion is asking you to step up in some area of your life and take on a role of leadership. Perhaps someone needs you to take the lead at this time, And perhaps you are being invited to demonstrate faith, inner strength, maturity, and wholeness to fulfill that role. As a leader, you must demonstrate love and deep respect for all living things and for nature as a whole. You may find that people look to you differently. Yeah, this is talking about a spiritual directive again. It's like being issued with a spiritual directive to inspire others. So I do feel like you are being spiritually, quote unquote, called up by your guides and by Source to start looking into a spiritually based business, becoming your own entrepreneur. It sounds like you may have the full backing and the support of someone on the financial side to where it would be very easy, they're saying, for you to just transition into this. But double check all that. Don't take what we say. Make sure that if there's some sort of financial backing or whatever, like doubly sure that you are going to be fully taken care of. I mean, your guides are going to protect you and all that, but if you go out and spend all your finances or you don't have enough to pay your house payment or whatever, like, you need to be very clear on the financial side of things before you just walk away from any job that you might have. Make sure you've got the safety net in place is all I'm saying. And just like from past experience, you need to be very clear that you're going to have enough, and then have like a backup plan. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's not just that you're being called up. We don't know anything here about your karma, okay? You may have some karmic debt that you have to pay back by doing service work. And if you do, I don't know, because this is not a private reading. This is a reading for a bunch of people. But if you do, then you may be doing service work free, gratis for a while, free. You may not get paid for a while because you'll be paying off karmic debt in the form of service work. And if that's the case, there's no regular payoff or paycheck, or so to speak, like that. So you have to be very aware, and maybe even consult a healing practitioner who can look at your karmic bank balance, so to speak, and let you know, have spirit come in and tell you, like, no, your karma looks pretty good. You're ready to just be off and running. You're going to have clients right away. You can kind of set your price and be on your way. But if that's not you, then you need to be aware that you might be doing some freelancing or free work for quite some time while you pay off some karmic debt. So that's why there's never a blanket statement of like, oh, just do this, you're fully supported, you're going to be fine, you're going to be rolling in the dough like tomorrow. Be realistic, have a good business plan, consult with your partner or a business partner, or maybe there's a business partner, like somebody you'll partner up with who helps out or does something there. So just be very, very, I like to caveat this one a lot. Because I think that people think that just because Spirit says, you're supposed to go start a spiritually based business, that you drop everything and like run off and just, do it. Be very grounded, which was part of the mountain lion message too. Like, be very grounded in your approach. The fairies too. The fairies are can really help you get started in a spiritually based business because they have a very grounded approach, practical approach to accomplishing stuff like that. And they're not going to let you, they're not going to let you like run amok without having some sort of good plan in place. So let me see if there's any other guidance. I feel like there's one more card that wants to be drawn. Let me just walk over here to the other room. I'm looking at my decks. All right. The City of Dreams. I have a lot of decks now, and the decks that don't make it into the readings are just like, wow, we're so sad. We want to be in your readings. All right, so this is the City of Dreams Oracle by Jackie Franco. It's an amazing, cute deck set in New York City. Let's get one last card for pile number 3. What do these friends need to know about? Candle magic. It's about shining your light, but I will read to you because this is another cute little book. It's about shining your light, being proud of who you are, working your magic. being a light to others. You have the power within yourself to create your wishes. If you need an added boost, call on candle magic to support you. Clear your space, ground and call in your guides. Carve your intentions into the candle or write them out on a piece of paper. When you feel the energy has moved, light your candle. Prayer plus this tool can make magic happen. In the void left by the burned candle, there is a magnetic vortex pulling your dreams into your life. Create an open space to be filled beautifully. May this be for the greatest good of all. So that's it, yeah. I mean, follow your heart, follow the magic, follow the calling, but just be sure you've got a good plan in place if you decide to do anything. And, you know, best of luck to you. Pile number 3, if you do decide to do this, maybe you'll come back in the comments at some point and let us know who you are or where you're at and what business you've started and, you know, where we can find you. We like to always not hook up like that, but, you know, network with like-minded beings who are of a high vibration. And if you found this channel in this space, in this place, then you are definitely aligned with a high vibration. So thank you so much for joining us here, friends. And we will see you again soon. Take care.